going on YouTube, fam? It's your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another video, man. And I'm gonna give y'all a little nightcap. I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna do a story time. So look, right, I'm gonna tell y'all about when I was in Birmingham. Okay, so I was coming out of 8th grade of middle school called Pittman Middle School. It was in Harrytown, Alabama. Now, it was a neighboring city called Brighton, Alabama. So basically, Brighton had a middle school and a high school, I believe, but the high school had shut down, so we was forced to integrate. Now, mind you, the dudes I went to school with and the people I went to school with, they all grew up together. They all knew each other. I was from Baltimore, but I had got cool with everybody. We was all rocking out, but we ain't really know too much about Brighton. You feel me? That's the house I was living in when I was in Alabama, by the way. But anyway, so going into 9th grade, yeah, you know, Brighton came with a different vibe. Like Harrytown dudes, they was more laid back. Family had a couple dollars. A lot of people had 2-parent households, or if they didn't, their parents had good jobs and stuff like that. Now, Brighton was more hood. They was more like the trenches. They was more like projects. You know, even though they ain't had projects, it was a little more gutter, if y'all know what I'm saying. So we get to school, you know, everybody acting all timid that I went to middle school with, like all the dudes that I was around. So me being who I was and carrying it how I carried it, I wasn't scared of nobody, you see what I'm saying? Like, I had came to Birmingham. I moved to West End first, which was on the west side of Birmingham, smack dab in the middle of the hood. Coming from Baltimore, coming out the hood, so I'm used to being around hood activity at this time. So, and plus I hung out in Fairfield. Like, anybody that know anything about Birmingham, you know, I hung out in Bessemer, you feel me? Like, I hung out in some of the so-called worst places over there, so they ain't put no fear in my heart. So long story short, as the school year was going, you know, everything was cool at first. They was intimidating a lot of dudes. A lot of people was scared of them. You know, they was running people's pocket, taking people grass, you know, pressing up on dudes, girls, all that. So at the time, my homeboy Zay, shout out my homie Zay, we was real tight. You see what I'm saying? And he went to school with them. I met him in West End when I first came to Birmingham, but we had lost contact, so he ended up living in Brighton and going to school over there, and I was going to school in Harrytown. So they knew me because of Zay. And you know, Zay, you know, he had some rep. You see what I'm saying? They wasn't scared of him, but Zay ain't no sucker, and they knew how he got down, so they figured if that was my right-hand man, I must got down the same way, and they was right. But you know, they hated me because the way I moved, I was like one of the only dudes that went back down from them. So, man, basically, I was beefing with a whole hood. It started out, I was messing with a girl from over there. You see what I'm saying? Me and her was kicking it. They weren't feeling that. And she was the cousin of this blood dude from over there. So, you know what I mean? I got to fighting with one of the dudes one day coming out the gym. Going up the hall, he said something slick out his mouth. I teed off on him. We got to fighting. I got suspended. So I had a vendetta against them. Came back to school. I guess they plotted on jumping me or whatever. So, you know, I'm leaving gym late because I was chasing this girl around. I got in trouble. I had to run some laps. So I'm coming out of the gym and I feel the vibe ain't right. So I'm looking, I see we had like a little ramp that go up to the buildings where the classes was at. Everything was like separated. Like we had like buildings instead of one big school. You had to walk to different buildings. So I see them standing on the ramp. So I'm like, okay, I already know what time it is. So I'm like, whoever, you feel me, like, whoever closest to me, I'm gonna grab him. I'm gonna make sure I smash him because they gonna smash me. I can't do nothing with them. These dudes big, these big country boys. They like 200 pounds. At the time, I was like 100 pounds soaking wet, but I had a lot of heart and I had a lot of fight in me. So that's what happened. When I walked up the ramp, they said something slick. I grabbed the closest dude to me. I made sure I got him on the ground. I'm tearing off on him. You know, they tearing off on me. They jumped me. They stomped me, all that. So the teachers come out. They break it up or whatever. My homeboys, so-called homeboys, they ain't even jump in. They ain't even help me out. Like my girl at the time, she helped me out. Like she was realer than them. So I get suspended. So now I got a real vendetta. Like I'm like, man, I don't know who these dudes think they is. And I'm young, I'm stupid, I'm arrogant. So I go to a party in they hood. just to show them like I ain't scared of y'all. Like I bring a few of my guys. I go to a party in they hood. I'm over there. I'm looking for the dudes. I'm like, it's whatever. So don't nothing jump off that night. So we get back to school. So at this point, I ain't going for it. I'm like, they not about to keep jumping me. I'm not even about to keep going through this. So I bring the blicky to school. Like, it's whatever. So I'm showing them like it is what it is. You know, we can get down however y'all want to get down. So ain't nobody buck. And then I got to the point, I'm like, I'm going to catch one on. Like, I just want to catch one on by themselves and see if they still got that same energy. So when I used to see them leaving out of class, I used to always look out the door. At this time, I ain't even focused on school. I'm really on some, I'm about to smash this whole hood by myself type time. So I used to run down on them in the bathroom every time I caught one on them. Like, what's up? What's the move? And I either tee off on them or I just pull their card, like talk all that stuff you was talking. And a lot of dudes I realized back then, when you catch them by themselves, they was quiet as church mouse. Like, they wasn't even on that same type time. But man, you know, it got deep to the point I was about to go there. Like, I was about to throw it all away. But my homeboy Zay, he stepped in the middle. And it was a dude named DJ and Mark I ended up getting cool with from Brighton. So I started being in their hood more. And when they synced, I wasn't scared. And I really was associated with some dudes that weren't scared. They kind of fell back off me and started kind of going to other people and all that. But at the end of the day, man, it was crazy because I was literally beefing with a whole hood by myself. Like, I ain't never back down. I got jumped a few times. You feel me? You can't win them all. I won some. I lost some. You feel me? It is what it is. But at the end of the day, I held my ground. Can't nobody say I ran from them. Can't nobody say I was a sucker. None of that. And you know, this just me being young. And I was just, at the time, I was really on some high head stuff, you know, and this ended up getting me sent back to Baltimore. Like, all this is the reason I got sent back home, because I kept getting in trouble. I kept getting suspended. I was like tripping and my pops wasn't even going for it. He like, man, you gotta go because I brought you down here for a better life and you still down here doing all this, man. But shout out to Birmingham, man. Shout out Brighton. Shout out Harry Town. You know, I just wanted to bring this to y'all, man, because I feel like I don't get into my life enough. And somebody wanted me to do a video about Birmingham. So this is a story. I'm going to try to do story time for y'all at least once a week. Just different situations in my life. Different things I've been through. If you ain't never been to Birmingham, man, y'all go over there, man. It's a nice city, you know. I mean, it get dangerous, you know. Don't get me wrong, like everywhere else. But I got a lot of love for over there because I did a lot of things for the first time over there because I went down there at a crucial age where everything was, you know, jumping out the porch and stuff like that. But let me know what y'all think about this. Leave your comments. Hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe. Hit that bell. Love, fam. I'm out.